Hello peoples, I'm back. Yeah, this has been like a long time ago. So what I want to do is just a little painting because it's a little bit too cold in my studio to do the acrylic paint. But we're having really beautiful weather today and I just felt like doing something, so I'm gonna do it. What I'm using is art graph. It's a sort of a graphite, but it's water solute. You know what I mean. So it's sort of watercolory, water solutable, something like that. You know what I mean. You guys always do. So I'm just putting some black on here. I already did one this morning, and that's why all of a sudden I felt like, you know, just doing something on YouTube for you guys because I haven't been on here so long. So I'm giving it here and there some more thick color. And then we're going to take the brush and we're going to start making it wet so that it can go to its watercolor state, as you can see. And the more you go over it, the more graphite the brush picks up, and that's why it's getting darker and darker and darker. But in a bit we're going to blend that into the page. So while I do that, I thought, well, I promised you guys a long time ago I was going to make a second channel. And it's going to be the Chit Chat channel, you know, just a lot of talk and a lot of other stuff besides art. I wanted to keep this one just, you know, for the art stuff. And then the other channel to keep you guys up to date about the house, the move to the beach, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I did this morning. I created a new YouTube channel. At the end of this video, there will be a little thing that you can click and it'll take you to it. And that's where I'm going to be posting a lot of things in the upcoming year. Because what I have planned is, once I live there, I will be taking you on walks to the beach. Because, like I said, I'm going to be looking for driftwood and shells and other treasures on the beach. And I am going to be taking you guys with me on the metal detecting thing that I'm going to, when it's really busy and there's a lot of tourists, you know, they drop all sorts of stuff, and I'll take you with me on that. That's going to be fun. Then of course I'm going to take you, well, by the time I live there, the bad thing is that there will be almost no tulips left, I guess, because I'm planning on being there, I think August, something like that, and all the little tulips will be gone by then. But of course we always have next year, if we live that long, with the war going on real close to Holland. And then I'll take you to the tulip fields, but I can already show you the tulip fields where I live. I can use the Google Maps to show you how many tulip fields there are in my vicinity. So that's what I was planning on doing. So I hope you'll join me there, and we'll do more chit-chatting. So right now, what I'm doing is just giving some color. And of course this has to dry a little bit, because not only are we going to use the graphite watercolor, I'm using Vallejo watercolor, this one, and I will be filling this in with blue, and then I'll be using these beautiful pens and this pen to mark this, and then we'll see how it turns out. I just wanted to do something creative because I haven't been creative for a very long time. As you know, I'm already packing up because I have a lot of packing to do. I did the whole attic, which took us almost 2 weeks clearing the attic. But we're doing that, you know, by ourselves, just my husband and I. It's a lot of work, and but we're getting there. And I'll show you the studio in a bit. It's a really big mess. It's really silly that I'm standing here painting, but who cares, right? So I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, we're back. It's dry, and I am going to use, first I'm going to use this one because it's supposed to be water. It is water-based, but it says permanent, so I'm hoping it's it's not gonna fade out in a bit. So I want to really give this a sort of a little border because it has to stand out from the background, and the background is going to be the same color blue, only a little bit lighter, but I just want to go around it a little bit. I'll be tracing that with the other pen in a bit, but just to make sure that it's water tight. Let's see if it is. So we're going to go around it. It looks okay. It's staying there. Yeah, it is. That's good. Okay. So this little bit up here is just going to be blue. And I'm going over this a little bit, because like I said, we're going to do stuff on it with the pens. Only I want to give it a little bit more blue. So I'm putting the watercolor directly on the brush and just giving it a little bit more blue, as you can see. And that looks nice. Doesn't have to be neat. And this is something that you can do if you are having a creative block like I had, like for a couple of months. Well, really a lot of months. I had this really creative block. I didn't want to do anything, and then 2 weeks ago it started coming back, like a little glimpse of creativity. And then when I then go on to Instagram and look at things other artists make, I get a little, that funny feeling in the pit of your stomach that you're ready to do something. And I made an acrylic painting, which I'll show you in a little bit, with turquoise and gold in it, which I really like, but I'll show you that in a bit. So this has to dry also, and then we're ready to use the pen, which is really nice, and I'll zoom you in on it. Okay, it's dry, and I will be starting with the pen. So what I want to do is trace these, but I want to make them, oh, now it's clogged up. No, it's not. So I want to make the border a little bit wide so that it really jumps out like that. But give it little squiggly things, because I like squiggly. Has to be a little bit, not tight, because this whole thing isn't tight. We'll give it something tight in a bit, just to give it some, balance, but not this. This has to be something like this, which is nice. I'm trying to watch out that my big head isn't in the picture. I've had so many comments in the past about my big head being in the picture, so I'm very conscious about that. And of course, I'll show you, I'm still red. Yeah, that didn't change. The hair is getting longer again. I cut it off real short, but now I've got it long again, and I think I'll keep it long now, because when you're walking on the beach, you want to be putting your hair up in a ponytail or something that it doesn't get into your face, so I might just grow it long again. Okay, so we got that. Now, when you're doing something like this, just let your mind take over. So if you think, you know what, everything's round, I want some squares, then you just do some squares. And of course I'm going to be getting the question, what kind of pen is that? Well, I have talked about this one in the past, but I sort of forgot what they call it. You have them in different tips. You know, they get small and broader than this. And parallel pen, I think they call it. Yeah, try and Google that. Parallel pen. I think that's it. So we're going to be giving those little squares a place to dance around there. Well, not dance around. They're more information. They're marching up against those big blobs there. Now I sound like Bob Ross. Let's not do that. Okay, dokie, there you go. No more than that. I think that's kind of nice. Yeah, okay. Now, to join these, because I want to join something, and this is the nice thing about this pen. You know, you just pull and you have a nice, tight little stripe going on. They look like little threads. And this one will have to go straight down there because it doesn't touch anything. So that one goes down there. We'll give it another. And this one is going to have that. That one needs two. Otherwise, he's the only one that has one. And of course, we'll have to connect them here. Okay, connected. So now, because I want to give it something interesting to look at, I'm looking at the thickness of my pen. And I'm sure everyone has pens like this. So I'm going to give it little eyes, make them black. And for this, really, you could use a thicker black pen, but I don't have one right now. I've been looking, but I think they're packed up or something. I packed up my studio upstairs, you know, where I first started, and you cannot imagine how many boxes I had to pack up with stuff. I am a hoarder. Yeah. Hello, people. I'm Anne-Marie Ritterhoff, and I'm a hoarder. Can't help it. But everything, you know, that you come across, you can use for artsy stuff. Little pots, little plastic containers, little pieces of pretty paper, nice pieces of plastic. There's really nothing that I don't think that I can use. So I've been keeping, you know, just gathering stuff up for the last 41 years. My husband had a little fit, though. He said, this is not normal. He said, you can't do this in the new house. So I'll have to downsize a little in the art department. And I don't think it's a problem. I should. Because, you know, you're getting older. One of these days you'll fall over and die, and then someone else has to clean up the rubbish, right? Oh, this is a fun video. I'm really on a roll here. Okay. Now, once you've done this, of course, you can also make little squares in between where it's really scribbly. You know, just to give it a little bit more. Or you don't have to. You could just leave it if you don't like it. But I like to do little things in there that draws attention and, you know, just gives it a little bit more of a thing to look at. And as you can see, I'm not trying to do this neatly, just little tiny squares, and just go around once or twice, and automatically you will not be going over your same line because, you know, that's just how it works. And then all of a sudden it looks artsy. So that's that. We've got that. I kind of like that. Only I don't like that bit now, but okay, we've put it on anyway. Now let's see what it looks like. Now, if you were to frame this, that would look kind of cute, wouldn't it? Yeah, maybe you want to frame it like this, a little bit more of the background. Maybe you want more blue in it, so you could frame it like that. you're not really, yeah, I've said that before, because there's more depth in this blue than there is on my monitor. But I think that, you know, goes away when I post the video. So there's a lot of watery color effects in there, and I really like that. And this is the dark turquoise, which I really like, because there's a lot of graphite in it. So even if we had just done this without this, it would have been kind of cute, right? Do you agree? Now the only thing it's missing is along this thick border, I would like a little bit of squiggle. See that? Just a little bit. It just gives it a little bit more. That's what it was missing. Squiggle, squiggle. So you just let it squiggle along. And you can do it once or twice or 3 or 4, whatever you like. You could fill it up with squiggle. Yeah, I like this. Now I don't like this. I'm really, I'm really thinking, why did I do that? I should have not done that. And you can't really fix that. Well, you could if you made it really black, but that wouldn't be nice. So we'll just leave it as is. You know, it's all part of the experimenting. And how long did we do over this piece? You know, just like 15 minutes. So what? Now, if you want to make it pop, of course, you could come in with a gold pen, because I gave it eyes with black. Now, I could give it a few of these in gold, just because I like it. Just a few gold ones. And you can go on and on and on with this kind of thing, you know, just maybe add another color. You could do anything you really want to. They all have it. And maybe if I put dots in the middle here, that the black ones won't be so dominant. Yeah, that looks cool. And maybe I can put something underneath just to make it. See, now they're not that dominant, so it doesn't bother me as much as it did before. Okay. That looks kind of cute. And of course it pulls together with those. And now I feel I have to put something in here. Let's see, what can we put in there? Maybe we can put in a few of those little squares, just to make the blue not as big as it is right now. Yeah, that looks kind of different. Okay. And of course we will have to give it a little bit of gold too, otherwise I have a feeling it doesn't match. It will stand out too much. So there we go. It's ready. That's it. That's how we're going to keep it. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and like I said, right now some sort of a little box will pop up, and the channel is called Chit Chat Annemarie, and we will be talking about all kinds of stuff, and we will be talking about the house. I'll show you pictures there. So I'd love to see you in the other side, in the other channel. So thanks all for watching. See you later. Bye bye. Love you all to pieces.